listening to the Mark Bradford Alchemy for Life podcast.
I'm bored. No, you're not. It is said that character is what you are in the dark. That's attributed to Dwight Moody by his son around 1930. I do like the Buckaroo Banzai version better, said by Lord Whorfin.
Character is what you are in the dark.
Regardless, I take the meaning to mean you are who you are, even in the dark, when no one's watching. That's who really comes out. That's who you really are. But I think character is who you are when you're bored. These days, with technology and social media and everything being at our fingertips, it's hard to be in the dark. We're almost never in the dark, are we? There's always something. There's always something to virtue signal and post online and say, look what I did, look where I'm going, look at the great thing I'm doing. So the only darkness is probably in very private relationships. But let's leave that behind and let's focus on what I said. The character is who you are when you're bored. I think boredom is a very powerful thing. In one podcast a long time ago, entitled Congratulations, You're Bored, I explored a bit about what that means when it comes to time, energy, and resources and the pursuit of a career or calling and a job. What I have witnessed is something really spectacular. And I'm so tempted. I would just capture some people and put them in a room and say, okay, there you go. You're getting out in 3 days. And then just see what they do. Because I would submit to you that boredom and loneliness and things of that nature are really what cause the inner person to come out. I've had a bit of experience with that. And being an empty nester, being single, being half a century old. It's up to me to fill my time. It's up to me to decide what I'm pursuing. And obviously I pursue it in lots of different directions right now because I can. It's up to me to decide whether I'm going to cook some giant elaborate meal for one or two, depending on the circumstances and so forth. It's up to me to decide whether I'm just going to cop out and get something or meet someone at a restaurant. It's up to me to decide whether I want to watch crazy YouTube videos or create something from scratch or learn a new skill and so on and so forth. And it's up to me to decide whether I can stand silence and being alone and not running out and buying a pet. So I've become very curious about others. As I've said before, I'm fascinated by time, energy, and resources and people. I want to know what time you get up this morning and why. I want to know what you did for that first hour. I know what I do for that first hour. I know my little routine I've developed that I quite enjoy. But what's yours and why, and does it work for you? I have a lot of data to draw from, not just my own personal data, but because I have gone on an absurd amount of dates. I get to talk to the person next to me on the stool or across from me at the table, and I get to hear about her life, her children, how she raised her children, what she does for fun, what she does to fill boredom sometimes. And it's very interesting. And there are those that I definitely get the impression from that are desperately trying not to be bored. Because for them, boredom is failure. It's a trigger. Boredom is death. But the boredom to them is just the worst thing that could happen. And for me, boredom is a reset. Boredom is a time to contemplate. I mean, if you have done meditation and yoga and things like that, you need to clear your mind. You need to reset it. You need to put it in a mode that our day-to-day, dog eat dog technological world doesn't allow. Because even if you're just sitting there, your phone's ringing, or you can check social media, or you can check your email, you can check all this stuff on your phone. And your mind is being active in that way. It's being distracted and it's being pulled into 18 different directions. You are not resetting. And boredom and meditation will reset you. But people are terrified of being bored. I'm not kidding. I have seen this with my own eyes. I see it all the time. And it's a unique experience being divorced and single, because you get to see the very base of your life. You get to see what you can do minute by minute, hour to hour, and so forth. And when you're self-employed and a solopreneur, you see even more about the raw existence of time passing. You get to see all of that. You can't just describe it to, well, got to go to work. Oh, 8 to 5, 7 to 5, 9 to 6, whatever it is you work. I'm spoken for, I'm taken. When you have a lot more control over your time and your flexibility and so forth, you get to see that. And I see that. And sometimes even just talking about that gives people the deer in the headlights eyes. They look terrified. Like, oh, and then they get back to work. And they go, well, I got to work now. I see it in their eyes. It's this, as the ants in one of the episodes of The Simpsons when they broke out in space, freedom, horrible, horrible freedom. It's true. And this gets back to the time, energy, and resource coaching and how you actually spend all that. My fascination with it, the little spreadsheet, the 5-column spreadsheet that's so dang easy to fill out, and just filling it out makes you go, huh. It gets back to that. Because you may find you don't have boredom. You don't permit boredom. You're a mover and a shaker. You're going to make something. You are going to have the guy who wears the cap all the time yell at you and drop F-bombs and tell you common sense things. That guy, the Gary guy. And you're going to hustle, and you're going to have a side hustle, and then you're going to have a side hustle. Because God forbid you sit on your couch and stare out the window. But Mark, it's not like I'm 85 and I'm in not a wheelchair, but I'm in a rocking chair and I'm rocking back and forth staring out. There'll be time for that. I don't want to be dead. I want to be active. Well, where does your next set of commands come from? Where does your next set of instructions come from? They don't come from anywhere. If you're just like, well, now I'm going to do this, now I'm going to do this, now I'm going to do this. They come from the past, and the past is like programming you. It'd be like past Mark saying, well, today I have to do this. Well, yeah, past Mark does dictate current Mark and future Mark's destiny sometimes, but not all the time. I need to be free. I need to be like, wait, what happens now? Let me take a deep breath. Let me see if the path that I'm on is the right one and it feels right, and let me go from there. And like I was saying, I wonder if you pressed upon other people and yanked them out of this stream that they're in and said, no, you're just stuck in this room. Well, do you have something for me to do? No, I got nothing for you to do. Can I read a book? I don't know. Can you? Can I leave? No. Because then you're just going to go distract yourself. No, you have to decide what you want to do. Okay, well, here's what I want to do. I don't want to hear it. And then the door is closed. Would these people get on Amazon right away and start ordering things? Like, what would happen? Like, what happens? Do you ever give yourself a chance to be bored? And again, what I am doing here is, suggesting that, as I assume, my audience are people who want to do things. They want to get more out of life. They want to be movers and shakers and so forth, and focus on time, energy, and resources. I'm making that assumption. But there are people that, let's say, well, look, I'm such a lazy person. I have my conveyor belt job. I come home and that's it. I watch my stories. I do this, whatever. I eat my Fritos. Okay, but you may not have true boredom either, because you may never let yourself be bored. And now you're thinking, now I'm crazy, right? Because like this person who does nothing other than go to the job and come home and have no hobbies or anything, how could they not be bored? Clearly, this person is probably bored out of their freaking mind. No, they're not. Because the second that starts to encroach on their brain, they turn on their trash TV. Or they watch sports. Or they go out and they have a drink or something like that. They do that thing. Doing a thing, regardless of how productive or useful or creative or interesting it is still a thing. It's not experiencing the boredom. Are you reflecting now on the boredom in your life? Like, are you going to look back and go, well, last night, Mark, I was just staring at the wall for like 5 minutes. No, you weren't. I doubt it. I doubt you were doing that. I doubt if you allowed even a single minute to pass without you doing something. And again, turning on a show that you've watched 15 times or a YouTube channel or some other nonsense, that still counts. That all still counts. And I dare say even meditation isn't boredom. It's a task that you're intentionally doing for a purpose. So, here's your takeaway today. I want you to be bored. I want you to experience true boredom. Stop shoving your mind into 20 directions. Stop deciding what you want to do. Stop distracting yourself. Get away from distractions and be bored. Try it for a minute. Try it for 5 minutes. See if you can even make it until 10. And I will bet you that you'll come up with something. And you'll say, well, Mark, this is almost like meditation. I kind of just sit there. It's not exactly like meditation because you are allowed to have thoughts. You know? But experience the boredom and see what direction your mind takes you. And I will bet you that it will do something very similar to you that meditation does, in which things will come up that wouldn't have come up. You go through your whole day, start to finish, and go to bed, and the whole time you never got a chance to just exist. So try it. And for those of you who are the detractors and saying you're just prescribing a form of meditation, I am not. I am prescribing something that you're supposed to do every so often as a human being, and you won't let yourself do that because you keep running away. Stop running away. Stop running towards just 10 seconds of boredom, 1 minute of boredom, and tell me what happened. I want to know. And take care. Hey there, thanks for listening. I always appreciate your feedback. I really, really do. Wanted to let you know that the Sword and the Sunflower audiobook won as Best New Author for 2020. My podcast is available wherever you consume podcasts, and my books are available on Amazon. Take care.